reach out to us. We'd love to talk with you. And I'll also be putting in the chat function a link to a questionnaire that we'd love to have you complete after this is done, so continue to guide us in providing information that's of use to you. So without further ado, I'd like to turn the floor over to Worship Brother Rob LaFleur to give us a tour of the new Grand Lodge website. Brother Rob?
Okay. Hi, brothers. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you coming here. I'm going to start out just by sharing my screen right away, and we'll get started. Again, Fred had mentioned that to be sure to post your questions if you have them, either in the chat window or on the help desk found on the new Grand Lodge website. Hope everybody can hear me fine. Okay. Jumping right in, I want to get started. We're going to look at the members.michiganmasons.org website. There's also the www.michiganmasons.org website. We're going to dive into that for just a little bit. Before we do that, I want you to realize one thing about web browsers. You know, we are currently new websites or anything new on a website are using you know, either Chrome or Firefox or Edge or one of the other web browsers. Internet Explorer, which is on the older versions of Windows, Microsoft stopped support for that back in 2016. So the date actually is written right there, January 12, 2016. So I just want to make sure you understand that if you are using the older websites, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to download Chrome or one of the other supported websites, and then that'll help you out on the sites. Some of the pages might not even display if you have the older websites. I know we're going to be talking about members.michiganmasons.org, but I want to start out and give you just a brief rundown of the www.michiganmasons.org. That is the collective. So you have the Michigan Masons, you have the Charitable Foundation, you have the Masonic Home. And I know that a lot of people will do a search on Google and they'll say something like Michigan Masons. They'll go to Michigan Masons and this page will come up. Then they'll go to membership. Then they'll go to the Grand Lodge login. So I want to give you a little brief rundown of what's happening on this page, and then we'll take a dive into the members site. So up at the top, you have these links. So the previous one right here, if I was to click on the Charitable Foundation, what will end up happening is Charitable Foundation will end up on the left-hand side. Michigan Masons will now bounce up to the top, Masonic Home up to the top, and then the actual website URL is michiganmasons.org/foundation. Now, if I clicked on Masonic Home, the Masonic Home comes over on the left-hand side of the browser screen. Michigan Masons remain the same, and the Charitable Foundation up at the top. Now we're at the www site, only it's a /Masonic Home. Now, coming back to the Michigan Mason site, if I go into the membership and then the Grand Lodge login here. So let me show you something here. I want to show you a way to do a shortcut. What happened to my screen? Let me log back in. I lost the screen here for some reason. Okay. There we go. So I am here, and what I see a lot of times is people will do something like this. They'll go here first, then they'll go here, which is the Michigan Mason site. Then they'll go to membership, then they'll go to the Grand Lodge login, and that finally gets us to the place where we want to be, which is the members.michiganmasons.org. Little tip, couple of things here. One, see, I got some tabs here. And so I can add another tab and I say, well, you know what, I want to have Google on here. I've seen this happen and done quite a bit of support calls where somebody will be at the website, they'll close a tab and they won't know what to do. And if you notice up to the top, you got this plus sign. If I click on the plus sign, I can go ahead and add another page. And now I've got multiple tabs. Got Yahoo, I got Google, I got the login to the member site, and I've got the original www Michigan Mason site. But a little tip right here, if you hold your mouse over top of the little lock and you click on it and hold it down, you left click on it, hold it down, and then drag it to your desktop and then drop it. And then here I'm going to do the same thing to Google. I'm going to go over here to the little lock. I'm going to hold down my left mouse button, and I'm going to drag it to my desktop, and then I'm going to drop it. And just for guns and funnies, we'll go into Yahoo, we'll do that one also. So I've got 3 icons now on my desktop. I'm going to close my browser. Now, if I wanted to log into the members website, I would double click on that icon, and it brings me right to the site. Now, if I wanted to add Google to it, I just double click on that. Now I've got 2 tabs. So that's just a little tip to you where you can have these desktop icons on here very easily on your desktop. Now, I would probably right click on this one. I'd go into rename, and maybe I'd call this members. So that's all I got on that particular one. So that's how we're going to get to the Grand Lodge website, the member section. When we go to log in, you have to realize that this is a total new site. It has nothing to do with what used to be the grandlodgemi.org site. So if you have not registered, you have to register before you can even begin here. If you registered at this site, it has to be registered on this particular site, then you'll be able to log in. If you click on this bottom one, it says how to register. You'll get a 1-page PDF document. And if you want to print that off, you can print that off, but it shows you the steps in order to create the login script. So I'm going to actually do one for you in just a moment. So let's go for a ride here. I'm going to go to the site. I'm going to go to the membership, Grand Lodge login, and I'm going to go ahead and register. That's the tip, wrong one. Go ahead and register. So I'm going to highlight my password here and paste it in there so I can make this all work the way I want. Now, once I get to this screen, what's going to end up happening is going to want me to put in like a 6-digit key that I'm going to receive from the site. So that's to confirm I am who I say I am. So I'm going to say, let's send it to the 3964, which is my phone. I'm going to click on that send. And I have on my browser, one of my tabs that I have is a link to my phone. In that phone, I got this. I've got the key that I need to put in. I just want to make sure that's the right one. So I'm going to take that key, which is right down here in the bottom. That doesn't look. It's 3:50 p.m. This is not linked up right. Hold on here. This did not works like I don't know how many times today. Fine. So I can't show you what it was texting me, but I'm going to go ahead and just key that in. So that was keyed to me. And now I've got my username, I've got my password, and I log in. And this is what you see as far as the actual website. So we're in right now. So the thing you got to do is you got to put in your membership number. You got to put in your date of birth. It will look for you on our on the Grand Lodge membership system. You'll put in a username and a password. It will send you a text, either a text message or an email message with a key. You'll type that in to verify who you are, enter that, and then immediately after that you can log in. So it's an immediate process. So I'm in, and the first thing we want to start looking at is some of the links that we got here. So from the top, this is a link to home, and that'll make more sense in just a second. Then we got the Grand Lodge, we got the lodge, and we got the members. And that matches up to what we got right here. So the members here is the same as members only here. The lodge is the same as lodge, and the Grand Lodge the same as Grand Lodge. So let's go into Grand Lodge briefly. And if I wanted to go home, I could click on Michigan Mason's Grand Lodge up here. The other thing I could do, going into Grand Lodge, I can click on home here. So navigation-wise, it gives you an idea of different ways to go about getting there. I can go home here. I can also click on the Grand Lodge here. So that'll give you different things. Listed here, as you can see, Board of General Purposes. I'll click on the Board of General Purpose. I'll pick on any one of the brothers, and I get a pop-up of their cell phone number and of their email address. This is not available to anybody unless you are a Mason. So you've got to be a Mason in good standing to be able to even get to any of this. Come in here, we'll try the DDIs. Again, we got the names listed in here. Click on any name, you can close it, any name. So we always have the contact information for each of the DDIs in this respect. Got the Masonic calendar, links back to the Masonic Home, the Charitable Foundation, U.S. Grand Lodges in the obviously in the United States, past Grand Masters, should be Grand Lodge officers and staff. There's the officers. We click on their name and phone number and email, contact each one of those. Let's go home. We kind of got discombobulated a little bit. And then we want the Grand Lodge office staff, which are listed right here. So there's your contact information for anybody that lives, that works at the Grand Lodge office. Coming back, we go into the lodge portion of it. Again, I can either go up the lodge up in the upper right-hand corner, or I can go to the lodge listed here. So we go into the lodge. We got the lodge search locator. This is actually going to bounce you back to the www site. I'll show you what that means. So you see we ended up at the www website. This is what they put on that particular website. I actually put a link to both of them in there. You can do a search here. So do a search, and if it's got Grand in there, and in any case of anywhere, it could be in the name, could be the location, could be the city, anything like that. I can put in the name of a lodge. I can click on the Our Lodge page website link at that point if I want. Close that. And then we have the, back on the members site again, we go to lodges by district. Now this is staying right here on this site. These are listed by district, and then the lodges that are listed within that district are listed. And if I want, I can come in here and I can change it. Well, let me give me lodges by number, lodge number. I can go to lodge name and I can sort them alphabetically by lodge name, by the city. I don't know if the county, how the county works. I don't think meets or members of good standing. There's no, if you click on the lodge itself, it'll give you a map. It'll give you a little bit more information on the lodge itself. If you click on the icon off to the side, it'll open up the Our Lodge page website. So going back to the lodge, if I hit the U.S. Grand Lodges, that's going to actually take me out to another web tab. So another tab, see these tabs are opening up. So the Masonic Service Association in America has a listing of all the Grand Lodges within the United States. I'm going to close that and come back in here. I'm going to go home. And I'm going to take us to the members only section. So again, members over here or members over here. Doesn't matter which one it is. You've seen these on several pages already. I think it's on the Grand Lodge. It's also on the Lodge. Your Masonic record listed over here. Your phone and contact information. You have an edit button. You click on the edit button and say you had a change to your, I don't know, a change to your phone number or change your email address. You can type that in. You can even type in a comment that would go to Jamie. Jamie gets these and she'll update your actual Masonic record. This does not change your Masonic record at all. All this does is notify us of what changes that you have, and then we change it for you. Coming back in here. The Grand Lodge sends out a weekly e-newsletter, and if you're not already signed up, you can click on the link right here. This will open up a page and enter in your email address and first and last name. I believe Darren gets these. I'm not positive, but somebody either in the Grand Lodge office or I don't know, in marketing gets this and we'll key you in for the e-newsletter.
They go to marketing now.
You go to marketing? Okay. After that, basically everything on here is going to be listed in capital or in alphabetical order. And if it's capitalized, that means there's a folder. So anywhere you see something that's capitalized, got the word folder at the end of it, you're going to find multiple different web pages within that. We took away the, you used to have small, or you used to have registrations or what's the word for it? When you want to join one of these other
Petitions?
right? We used to have all the paperwork to do that right here on our site, but we thought it would be smarter to go ahead and leave it on their particular site. So you'd have to go to their site, which is really smarter because if they change their application for membership, they don't always let us know. So it's better that you end up going to their site. So back to the members only. So again, everything alphabetically listed, capitalized if there's folders. So what I normally do, because there's actually quite a bit on here, there used to be multitudes of pages on here, and then they also had a BDP section, they had a DDI, they had a officer section. I really narrowed it down into a single page. And I know it gets kind of long, but it's all in one page this way. And then when they're alphabetical, the only thing that you might not see, you'll see this officers folder, and I'll show you that in a minute. And you'll also see a membership search. It's called member search right here. Those are the only two that are not, that every Mason won't get. If you're in a particular office, you're going to see them, and I'll go through those offices in just a second because we're going to take the time to look at the new search engine that we have in replacement for the one that you guys are maybe currently used to. I didn't put those up right away because you have to register with this site, and then if you get into that, and then you find out that you might have to register at another site in order to get the search to work. Now, if you're a secretary, you're already in Groupable. Groupable is Maury rebranded. So when I say Groupable, I'm talking about what used to be Maury. I usually come in here, and about the first thing I end up doing is I click on this search this site, or I click on this magnifying glass up in the right-hand corner. So instead of trying to go in and say, you know, I want to find the ritual, I'll click on the search. I'll type in ritual, hit enter, and so, okay, I want the Masonic ritual. Click on the Masonic ritual, and there it is. So if I want to find something about awards, type in awards, do a search. I want to go in and I want to look at the awards folder. And there's the listing of the different awards that are available. That one ended up in the officers folder. I'm an officer, so I can still get in there. If I wanted to look at these at our Friday night light links, and I can go into the folder, and there's all the episodes. Now, this one, Tour of the Grand Lodge website, I think that'll probably be populated maybe Monday or Tuesday, sometime early next week. But all these will bring you over to the to a help page. It gives you the some of the documentation that's available. So it gives you some of the video presentation that you can download. So here's another example of that. I think here's the PDF format that's available. Here's the video that's available. You can also click over here and just click on this and go to that YouTube page. Going to the officers. Now, if you're not seeing this, well, you're seeing this right now, obviously, because you're watching mine. But if you log in and you don't have an officer, the people that will see this particular folder will be BGP, DDI, Grand Lodge officers, past Grand Masters, Worshipful Master, wardens, secretary, assistant secretary, and treasurers. So if you're not in that group, you're not going to see that. You're also not going to see the member search if you are not in one of those categories. So let's go into the officers section, and there are a few folders in here. I think there's a BGP and a DDI. I'm not seeing that because I'm not a BGP or DDI, so that won't be this. But everything to do with an officer is going to be in the officers folder. And then again, you have the uppercase files, or you have the uppercase links which show a folder. So there could be multitudes of folders within here. That's the basic drill down of the entire website. So anywhere you go in here, about the only place, well, there are a couple other places where you'll have like I think you do like, which was Facebook. I don't know if it was proceedings. I'm going to say proceedings. So let's take a look at proceedings. There'll be some years in there. So if we went into proceedings, we got 20. I don't know what I'm talking about. Going to proceed. I don't know why that didn't show up like that. I will have to look into that. There's one in here. I don't know what happened to it. I'm looking for the proceedings right here, folder, and I was expecting that this was going to end up coming up, and I don't know why. I'm gonna have to look into why when I type in proceedings, this is not showing up. Except maybe I have to put 2009 proceedings, 2010 proceedings. There may be a reason why that. But these will each have a folder, and inside there, some of them will have multiples of files inside of them, such as this. Let's go back to the members. And I'm going to go into that member search. Now, currently, if you have the member search, you're going to see this familiar screen right here, where you can just start typing in a name and pull up the Masonic record. But you notice up here, August 1, 2020, this site will be shut down. Okay, what that means is if you look at this this link, look at the notice, it'll explain it a little bit. It'll also tell you what officers will have access to the new search. What it is really is you're going to end up going into the Groupable website, and Groupable, the formerly Maury, will allow you to do searches. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration of that. So if you're one of those offices, you can register on the Grand Lodge, on the Groupable website, and in there, um, you'll be able to search for anybody. You know, I don't know if you're a secretary or any of you secretaries or anybody in those grand offices are watching this right now, but I can find anybody at this point. I've got right here Frank Peters, who's a regional, I believe he's a regional grand lecturer, and he's a DDI, I believe. And I used his credentials to get in here. I'm looking at it right now. There is the member search, which is the old style member search. You don't want to use that. But over here, I can find literally anybody in this system. So I'm going to see Bob Conley. Now we're to type in Robert Conley. Robert, I'll get the results come up. I can click on his name, and I get his contact information. If I want a Masonic profile from him, I click on a profile. Profile will download, and here is his entire Masonic record. Close that one. I can go into and look for Williams, Robert. Now there's a lot of Williams, there's a lot of Williams in the Grand Lodge. So you wouldn't want to type in just the last name Williams and hit search. You want to fine tune a little bit. When you do a search for anything, what will end up happening is it'll look in the entire database that we have. It's about 700,000 records, and find every Williams in there. We don't want to do that because the return value that you get will be too high, and it'll take too long. So you always want to fine tune that a little bit. So instead of thinking that you're just searching in your lodge or in your district, you're searching the entire organization in both present and past. So what we end up happening here is we got global active. These are members in good standing. We got global inactive. Maybe they took an NTD or withdrew or something, and then you got global deceased. So even if I want to take a deceased record, so I'm looking for maybe possibly some genealogy, I look at Williams Robert, and I click on his name. I get his record come up, and you see over here we got an external link. If I click on that external link, I'm going to get the Masonic PDF card that's available on the Grand Lodge. So I can pick out anybody. Now this profile won't be as good as this external link because this is an old record. The other thing I can do, I can look at, I got only one person in the entire database is David LaFleur. If I happen to type that in and he comes up, his Masonic record comes up directly. The other thing we have is the directory. We click on the directory. Now he is, this one right here allows me to find any lodge in the entire state. So if I want to find something, say that starts with Grand, we'll put Grand Haven, click on Grand Haven. I can see the officers. I can click on an officer. Pulls up his data. I got his information. I can click on profile and print his profile out. Or if I'm a BGP rep, I click on home, such as Frank or DDI, whatever he is. I only get his district right here. So in his district, now I can look at some of the finances in the district. And once I start understanding what this is and what these mean, I might find an anomaly in here that I might want to talk to them about. So I can see the officers, recent events. I can also come back in here and click on the lodge. And just as before, we'll pull up just the information about that lodge, action items over in here. So I can start looking at, okay, what is, when was the last time they had a new entered apprentice or a fellow prep? So these are things that you couldn't get when you use the old search engine that we have right now. These are different reports that you can get on individual lodges that weren't available to you. So we'll go back, let's see, find out where we were. That's the old search that we're going to do away with. And can we get to members? Go back into members. So we go back into members. So, Do we have any time? No, we're about out of time, aren't we? You say we could go to the foundation and start looking at a couple of these real quick. I'm going to click on impact. And I'm only doing this because of the way this website is designed. It gets a little tricky if you don't know how to use it. See over here, we got fraternity and we got community. And on the fraternity, I've got slides, and I can click over here, change the slides. I can also click on community, and now the slides are different. So it's something to be aware of when you're trying to find something. I would also be well aware of using that icon right up here, this magnifying glass. So if I'm searching for something in here, say scholarship, I might want to come over here, search it in here, because you're going to find a lot more information here than you might not have available if you're trying to dig around trying to find it. So I like that search. So, that's all I've got. I mean, I can go back in and look at the Masonic Home and the Charitable Foundation, or go back into the Masons portion of it. But I think that briefly covers the membership portion anyway. This is back into here. So,
Brothers, if you have any other questions, please put them in either the chat or the Q&A, and we'll open it up to Rob. So. I'm not seeing any additional questions right now, Rob.
okay.
So at the beginning of the chat portion, you've got both an email address and a toll-free number. If there are questions that occur to you after we're done this evening. I've also put in the chat function there a link to a questionnaire that Garen will also be sending out afterwards. And we'd appreciate your feedback on how to, any additional topics you would like to hear about, how to strengthen these sessions and so forth. So please give us your feedback. That's how we make these Friday Night Light sessions better. One last chance. Any further questions from anybody? Okay, Brother Rob, I'm not seeing any, but thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Brother Darren, thanks for answering the questions. And we look forward to your review in the YouTube if you want to see a repeat of this, or send us your questions along the way. So have a great Friday evening, folks. Take care.
Hi, brothers.
Thanks, brothers. Did you stop recording already?
I did. Just give me a second here. All right. I don't know about you, Darren, but I think we ought to just take a snapshot of Brother Rob since he's the star here. But it's up to you. So.
Yeah, I could get one. I can just take one right now and crop you and I out.
Okay, great.
Smile or wave, Rob, or
What's that?
want to do a little wave, a little smile or anything? Or that looks like you're how?
What you do, you live long and prosper.
Go thumbs up again.
Thumbs up again? All right.
Got it.
Perfect. There you
Well,
go.
watched out.
I'm a little surprised there weren't more questions, but nice job, sir. Darren, any feedback? Anything we need to do different?
I think it went well. I thought we'd get more questions. I did try to nip the one in the bud and just remind them again that they have to re-register as a new user.
Yeah,
And then
they
of course,
tear off.
2 minutes later, Dan Wilson says, "Does our password carry over?" No.
Yeah,
I even changed. I even put a big thing on the site now.
I know. People receive information at the time and place that of their choosing, and even then, it may take multiple.
I mean, on the login page, it says if you have never registered, you know, right at the top now.
I know. At least there's no purchase decision here, but just think if you're buying a car, okay, how many different places do you collect information? How many different times do they try to close the deal? And it's kind of hard to put your finger on or your thumb on exactly which thing finally made you pull the trigger and do it. And I think a lot of decisions that way, particularly if people aren't engaged mentally at the moment, that's what happens. So thank you for your patience and being willing to, make it happen in multiple places. All right. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Darren.
Our attendance was a little lower, but
Yeah, we had 16 people tonight, so we'll probably see 157 views of the YouTube for all the folks who said, "Oh, I wanted to go to that one." So
I heard from quite a few people. So
yeah,
nice night. It's the weekend before a holiday weekend, so who knows? Some people might.
and we do have some competition. The reason Corey's not here is he's doing a presentation for AMD tonight too. So some of the AMD folks may be over on that one as well. So
I think we'll get good play on this on YouTube.
yeah. So thank
You track the numbers on it?
Yeah, we can see how many views there are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. So, all right, well, be safe. Have an adult beverage and enjoy your weekend, gentlemen. Thank you very, very much.
All right. Thanks, Fred.
You bet. Good night.